Welcome aboard, trainers! I'm Professor Bohdi, and today we're going to Kalos.
Professor, are we making new methods today?
No, Toasty, I'm aiming to create evolutions for underrated Pokemon who deserve them. There are a lot to choose from, but in specific, I'm going for a single stage design that I want to work into the upcoming Pokemon Legends ZA. Since Kalos is so obviously inspired by France, I want to focus on French culture, be it architecture, music, and emotion, since Paris is of course the city of love. First, however, I want to focus on a Pokemon who don't necessarily fit in the theme of today's video at all. In case you aren't aware, we have a community Discord where y'all can hang out, and every month, participate in a community art prompt. May's prompt was to select a single stage Pokemon and evolve it. So, here's my contribution to get you all started. Meet Collateral, the Pokemon inspired by Zhuai-Con, which I may be butchering, which is the Chinese martial art that you may all know as drunken boxing. It became the perfect source of inspiration to take for Collateral, the name being a combination for collateral as in collateral damage and whirl in how both Spinda and Collateral get down. You'll have to stay tuned till the end to hear their evolution method and dex entry, but for now, I'm going to tell you guys this is still a normal Pokemon. And now wait, before y'all start tossing tomatoes at me, let me explain. I could have gone that whole drunken route and mimic beer and wine in a cute way, like, I don't know, fermented shuckle juice, but Pokemon and Game Freak would never do that, so I think this way is more funny anyway, and gives character to Collateral, that in a stupor of ever-present confusion and dizziness is able to dodge, weave, and strike back completely unaware, and thus performing martial arts without even realizing. Meet Gargoyle, today's only baby Pokemon, since I felt that Cardigan could always use a Prevo form. Cardigan has gargoyle vibes, which of course are a staple and popular structure of Notre Dame. By cramming its form into something dense, Gargoyle features a cute perch stance that's held down by its massive wings. Something we also have in Cardigan, although they always felt tacked on in that design, but having a purpose here just later justifies it in the future form a little better. I'll be revealing the evolution method and full decks near the end, so stay tuned, but for now, let's talk some more design. By muting the saturated colors of Cardigan, I wanted to invoke a more earthy and grounded palette that made Gargoyle feel like a natural gargoyle. I wanted to go fully muted as far as a range of colors, but I soon lost an anchor to Cardigan, which is the bright head. That was when I decided to go for a bright orange instead, in homage to the very obvious inspiration for Cardigan in the form of the real-world creature, the red-headed Rakagama. Meet Lovestruck. Those who watch me stream art saw the early development of Lovestruck, my proposed evolution to the most okayest Pokemon that ever were. Luvdisc. I know what you're gonna say. Alola Mola Mola could have been and should have been the Evo, but then we wouldn't get something as fun as this design if I do say so myself. Paris is referred to as the city of love, so why not lean into this Pokemon becoming a matchmaker? With Cupid and their bow and arrow as the obvious choice inspo here, I also built the concept on top of the real-world archerfish that spits water to snipe at their prey. Obviously, their creative liberties on display here to turn the extended fins into that of a bow, but it creates a striking and obvious silhouette that's only enhanced with the tail appearing as the tail end of an arrow, and the squirt of water in the front to appear like an arrowhead. Simple, yet full of intent. Be sure to stay till the end to learn more about this Pokemon via its dex entry, its evolution method, and its signature move. Meet Locatite, a Pokemon evolved from Klefki. This is the only Colossian Pokemon on my list, so it don't necessarily need a reason to be connected to France per se, but I have one. If Klefki is a key, it felt natural to evolve it into its counterpart, a lock. The connection to real-world France is a bridge known as Pont des Arts, or Passerelle des Arts, a pedestrian bridge in Paris which crosses the River Seine. On this bridge, tourists have come to attach love locks with their names written or engraved on them to the railing on the side of the bridge. I transformed the keyring into a bridge arc shape and transforming the overall body into a heart, which is a simple and effective way to lean into my inspiration. This lock-turned locket also appears like a door knocker. Finally, I wanted a more visual callback to the original, so inserting keys as pseudo arms enhanced the lock pauldrons really give this Pokemon some nice movement as far as silhouette. Klefki has a lot of potential as far as an evo, and while I did go a more safe route, I'm still very pleased with how this one came out. Meet Pachit-chat. So the final Pokemon for today is a harder sell as far as a connection to France, so all I knew was that I had to get a Chatot evolution in here, because on a recent poll asking of single stage Pokemon who deserve an evolution, a whopping 48% of you on 329 votes said you wanted to see one for the musical note Pokemon. Thus, Pachit-chat, for Pitch and Chit Chat, was born. As far as visual reference to build its design, I did get the patterning of lovebirds involved, so again with Paris and Lumio City as a focal points for Legends EA, maybe that counts? Its main focal point in design features is obviously the unique brass-like instrument that lives on this Pokemon's bill, which is in fact a direct nod to the beak for a real-world creature with a musical instrument in its name, the trumpeter hornbill. Instead of giving it one set of nostrils, I lined up several to make it look like a musical instrument for which it is able to play accordingly, evolving the gift of gab that Chatot was known for.
On Professor's orders, Toasty here to assign the question of the day. Which other single-stage Pokemon do you believe deserve an evolution? Describe them in full for extra credit. Be sure to comment your reply below by end of day. Collateral, the discombobulated Pokemon.
Collateral evolved from Spinda after they land at least 10 successful hits while confused and are at least level 18. Collateral are oddities that stumble around forests trying to make their way back home, starting and ending fights by accident. They deftly dodge and throw out a flurry of attacks almost at random times, and are able to use their coiled and spring-like tail to find balance as they whip up attacks in a breakdance-like pattern.
Druddigoyle, the basking Pokemon.
Druddigoyle evolves into Druddigan with max friendship. Druddigoyle live high in the mountains where their natural environment is rather cold. As a result, they enjoy basking in the sun, head held towards the light, and stays in place until nightfall. Kings of ancient Kalos imported Druddigoyle to act as guards where these creatures would perch their heavy pointed wings into the stone to give them balance as a counterweight. Lovedisk evolved into Lovestruck after using Attract successfully on 5 different species of Pokemon and are at least level 24. Their obsession to fix couples together has them sniping water shots imbued with ample fairy essence at nearly 50 feet out. Newly married couples in medieval Kalos would raise these Pokemon after weddings as a symbol of their love. Locatite evolved from Klefki when traded while holding a metal coat. Locatite are incredibly selfish Pokemon who, after hoarding enough keys, smelt its common possessions to turn its frail body into an ironclad locket. Rumors say that the remaining keys stored inside soon become forged into a single master key that can soon unlock a secret tomb of an ancient Kalosian king hiding treasures only spoken about in fairy tales. Chatot evolves into Pachit-chat at level 32 after their trainers use the Pokéflute in the overworld at least 3 times with Chatot in the party. Pachit-chat gathers large breath with their beaks and exhales air to create incredibly beautiful songs as if they were an orchestra playing various instruments. Pachit-chat with the largest horn in the flock are deemed conductors, and instruct their orchestra to ward off predators by imitating Pokemon cries, moves, and other Foley sound effects to recreate fake but dangerous sounding Pokemon battles.
Registration complete.
Perfect.
Thanks for watching today's episode, trainers. I want to give a shout out to our growing community who helped in so many ways for today's art over at my streams. Don't hesitate to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can join us and get sneak peeks at new content in development. I also want to take this time out to show some massive love to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. I've been Professor Bohdi, aka Mr. Bonnie John.
And I've been Toastable.
Until next time.